Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So I hate to tell you, but guess what? The year is already halfway over. So that means I was like, you know what? I'm going to rank all the eyeshadow palettes that I have tried so far this year. I have got a whopping total of 36 palettes. So make sure you have a stack because it might be a little bit of a long video today. And I just wanted to first start off by saying that all of the eyeshadow palettes that I have are really good quality. There's none in here that I dislike. I'm just going to be ranking these from least favorite to most favorite, but even if it's at the bottom or the top, it's still a really good, solid quality formula. It's just personal preferences why some I like more than others, color stories, things like that, packaging. I just wanted to start off by saying that because y'all know, if you're familiar with my channel, I go ham on declutters. I'm very particular on the palettes that I keep in my collection. Obviously, I love testing new palettes, new formulas, things like that, but that doesn't mean that they all get to stay in my collection. I just wanted to start off by saying that I really do genuinely enjoy the formula of all of these. So definitely make sure you are subscribed before leaving today because I love eyeshadow palettes. So if you like eyeshadow palettes, ranking type of videos, then stick around and subscribe. So let's start off with the very bottom. This is from Give Me Glow. This is a very new. This is the Butterfly Vibes palette. I just can't get with the packaging. The formula, like I said earlier, the formulas are really good. I can't get down with this palette. Like, I'm not a big fan of the packaging. Also, I wish these shades were magnetic so I could move them around. I would have liked it more that way. This is one that I don't know if she's staying in my collection because of the packaging. I'm not reaching for it, so we shall see. But the formula is fun. It's a very fun Barbie-esque palette. I love the theming, the Y2K. It's so cute. Okay, so coming in at number 35, this is from Give Me Glow as well. This is a big one right here.
That's what she said.
This is the Pastel Dreams palette, and let me open it up. It's so beautiful. Literally a pastel dream. Are you kidding me? I love these shades. The reason why it's coming in a little lower is because I don't always reach for pastels, but when I do, this one's super fun. The only con about this palette, I love these palettes. They're in my collection for a reason. So if I'm nitpicking, it's because I can't just be like, oh, I love this one. I love that one. That one's cool too. I'm trying to tell you some pros and cons with each palette. So that's why I'm kind of breaking them down. Anyways, as I was saying, these two right here, the peach and the pink, they're a little too similar on the eye. But other than that, it's a really cute pastel palette, and I'm so excited because I finally ordered the Pastel Gardens palette from Bella Beauty Bar, and that one should be headed my way soon. Coming in at number 34, this is from Ace Beauty, and this is the Tropical Vibes palette. I lusted over this baby for so long, and I finally got it, and it's fine. The quality's pretty. I just don't reach for it. I have so many grungy palettes that I'll prefer over this. Yeah, there's nothing bad about it. I just don't reach for it. So this is another one where I'm like, it may be decluttered, who knows, but I like the quality for whatever reason. I'm just not feeling the inspiration to pull that palette out because, as you all have known, there's been a lot of grungy palettes launched. Okay, so coming in at number 33, this is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Love and Death, Verona, Amor, whatever. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Anyways, this was the first palette that I ever received in PR from Nomad, and I just love Nomad so much, guys. And the fact that they sent this over to me, I literally cried. I was so excited. How fun is this color story? I love how they have it broken down. These are very monochromatic on me, very pinky red leaning, but I love mixing them. But this over here, that's the beauty. This is what I love about this palette. So the reason why it's a little bit lower, because the shimmers in my palette are pretty hard pressed, but other than that, it's a very beautiful, unique color story, and I really enjoy the packaging as well. They always come through with the packaging. Next, this is 32. This is another one from Nomad. This is the Royal Europe palette. the packaging is so luxe, and it's like, it just looks like they spent a lot of time and probably lots of money in the packaging. And the reason why this one's a little lower, it's because these really deep jewel tones on me are a little intimidating, so I'm not reaching for it all the time. But right here's the magic. All of these beautiful multi-chromes, they are stunning, guys, stunning. I will say you have to build them up a little, but they're still very beautiful once you get them on the eye. And these tones right here are so beautiful. This one for me is more of a companion palette. I like to mix it, and I did mix it with, you'll see the Okavango Safari palette. That one's up higher. I will mix those two together. That's like where I feel more comfortable, but excellent palette, beautiful quality. Coming in at number 31, this is from Gourmande Girls, and this is the Warriors Wear Pink palette. This was a collaboration palette she did with her friend Sierra Soto, and she is a breast cancer fighter. So some of the proceeds do go to Sierra, or Syria. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but they created such a lovely color story. The formula is excellent. The reason this is a little lower is because I don't reach for lots of pinks, but I do love how they added some different shades in here, like the pop of blue, this black. I love the purples, and they have a brown. I'm a neutral lover, so that brown made all the difference for me. And this shade right here is a beautiful bronzy, reddish, pinky, shifty shade. It is lovely. That and the brown is so freaking pretty. I love the formula of Gourmande Girls, and I feel like every time they launch a palette, it just gets better and better. Coming in at, that one was sent to me, and so is this one. This is the Wicked Widow Beauty Palette, and this is like the one it was like an Alice in Wonderland kind of inspiration, I would say. How cute is this? I was going to buy this, and whenever I found out they were sending this to me, I was so freaking ecstatic. I like to tell you which palettes were sent to me in case you're genuinely curious. That was a side note. Anyways, the color story is so fun and pretty for spring. They're beautiful. I will say that I don't have like a deep tone in here, so this is more of a companion palette, but this was the first time I ever got to try their formula. It is perfection. I love mixing these two as blush as well. It's very fun. The shimmers in here are stunning. These two, The Key and Who Are You, those are very special, lovely, like the very textured, yummy shades. And then, let's see, Rabbit and Drink Me, they are more of a traditional shimmer. Such a beautiful palette. Coming in at number 29, this is the Juicy Olive palette from Give Me Glow. Mine, I did add a little bit of different shades in here because it was just all way too green monotone, but these, like the old packaging from Give Me Glow, they're magnetic, and the big round pans, you can mix and match if you do have singles from them or other palettes. So I just popped in some of my other shimmers, and I just love, or in mattes in here to kind of give it some more variation, versatility, some beautiful, not just green shimmers, they're very shifty. So yeah, I love this palette, and I really do like, pat on my back, the way I rearranged it. It just made me reach for it so much. So if you do have palettes that are magnetic and you're not reaching for them, maybe move them around and you might be inspired to reach for more. Number 28, this is newer to me. This is the Full Fantasy. This is a collaboration between Manny MUA's brand, Lunar Beauty, and Laura Lee, her brand, Laura Lee Los Angeles. They did this in collaboration, and this is so, so beautiful. If you are a neutral lover and you want a few fun pops of purple, maybe some very wearable greens down here, it's a nice quality palette. I do enjoy it for every day. I like the big mirror in here. Not much to say, it's a nice palette. At number 27, this is Resurgence, and this is the collaboration palette between Heather Alston and Unearthly Cosmetics. How fun is the packaging, for one? I'm not the biggest lover of bugs, but the packaging is so cute. And I must say also the color story is a reflection of Heather Alston. It's very fun. I love the way that she organized it. The color combo is so beautiful. The shimmers, that's the star of the show for me. The mattes are a little intimidating. I love to mix this palette with other shades. Like, give me a brown and all these fun shades and I know what to do, you know? Very, very beautiful. The quality is very nice, but those shimmers are just, oh, they're so freaking pretty. Definitely, I love this one so much. It makes me, come out of my comfort zone, if you will. Coming in at number 26, this is from Melt, and I do have a few more palettes to mention from them. So this is the Gemini right here. I really do enjoy their matte formula. The shimmers are fine, but the undertones in Melt, palettes, that's what makes me really enjoy their formula. It's just they're very unique undertones. So the next one is Gemini 2. This one has more red tones. I did not really like a red eyeshadow until I got this palette right here. There's something so beautiful with these reds, these more like peachy, bony shades, you know, mixed with these greens. It just looks like a beautiful, yummy garden. I love reds because of this palette. This really inspired me to go into red, dabble a little bit. Oh, I just love it. Typically with melt shades, I will use their mattes with a little bit of their shimmers, and then I'll go into like one of my indie special shades, and that's where like the magic happens. So this is the 420 palette, and I love this palette. I think the mattes perform really good for me. The undertones, like I said, I'm like a broken record. The melt undertones, that's what really makes me enjoy their formula. I know a lot of people are like not loving melt anymore, but I've recently discovered them. It was the end of last year and the beginning of this year when they were running all those really good sales. So I'm still loving the brand. What can I say? Number 23 goes to Citrus Punch from Simply Posh Cosmetics. This one was sent to me. Look how fun this color story is. I have been craving a color story like this. Very vibrant, loud, but beautiful, perfect for summer and spring. This is kind of like a companion palette for me. I love mixing this with some of my everyday brown palettes, like the Laura Lee Mani palette. That with this, like everyday browns with these fun pops, that's where I like to stay. And honestly, if you just use this one, it's so pretty. Like you can't mess up. All the shades blend well with one another. There's not like a color combo that doesn't work. I have tested this, used every single shadow in here. It's amazing. They blend like a dream. The shimmers are all very beautiful and sparkly. They have a sudden, like, they have a shift to them, but it's like a duochrome shift, and they're so special. It's not just like a traditional shimmer. It's a beautiful shifty shimmer, and I love them. I use this all the time as like a face palette for like blushes and highlighters. This palette is so pretty. I'm so happy that they sent this one over to me. I was gonna buy it either way because it's so beautiful. Like the color story is so unique. Like I don't have another palette like that in my collection, and I love the way that Simply Posh organizes their palettes where you can have like monochromatic looks or you can mix it up. So I really do enjoy that. Coming in at number 22, this is the Flora Story palette in collaboration with let's see. Okay, so this is the one Makeup Just for Fun and Odin's Eye. Like I have two other ones and I was getting confused. So Makeup Just for Fun did this beautiful green, purpley, neutral palette, and I do enjoy it. It takes a little bit more building up, but it's very beautiful. I love the multi-chrome in here. I just don't reach for it all the time, and I honestly thought I was going to reach for this constantly, but yeah, it's really cute. I need to reach for it more, you know? I feel like Odin's Eye, when they launch palettes, they launch a whole bunch of palettes at once, so it's like it's hard to pick which one you want to love on more because you're just overwhelmed. Coming in at number 21, this is the La Cienega palette from Adept Cosmetics, and as you can see on the color story, you have a very matte heavy palette with beautiful shimmers down here. I do like the shimmers there. This whole palette has a very good formula. This shade right here, Manhattan Beach, is my favorite shimmer in here. It's so beautiful and shifty. The mattes aren't my absolute favorite color story, but it's still fine. I'm glad I have it. Number 20, this is from Glaminatrix-Cosmetics. This one was sent to me, and this is the Sugar and Spice palette. There is something so magical about the shimmers in this palette. They're very shifty, sparkly, all the things. If you've ever tried Glaminatrix, you know what I'm saying. They have a very beautiful formula. The mattes right here, I do like how they chose more everyday mattes. That way you could have your everyday mattes with your fun pops of shimmer shades, and also they do have two beautiful pastels, well 3 with the purple. So you do have pastels, very traditional mattes, and fun pops like as far as shimmers go. I will say these two mattes are too close in my opinion. I would like to see more of like a mid-tone brown because it's really hard for me, like my makeup skills, to go from this pale of a shade to this deep of a shade. It's very hard. I need something kind of in between to blend. So typically I will go reach for something else and kind of help blend out everything out. But I do really like the shimmers in here, and I have done several looks and I do like all the looks that I've come out with. So that's my first basket of palettes. Now let's hop over to the other one. So number 19, this is from Salem Cosmetics, and this is in collaboration with Smink on Instagram. I'll link her down below, but this is the Forest Heart palette. This is the first time I've ever tried Salem Cosmetics, and wow, I was very impressed with their formula. The mattes and the shimmers are very pigmented. The mattes are very easy to blend, especially like these fun, colorful shades. Sometimes I can have difficulty blending very vibrant shades, but these blend very easily. I like how you get some more neutral shades. I love these greens. This is it's like such an inspiring palette. The shades are so fun and they all work well with one another, and the shimmers are so sparkly and beautiful. I'm so glad that I got this palette. One, to support Smink, but also I wanted to try Salem Cosmetics for so long, and they have a bomb formula. So coming in at number 18, this is from Devinah Cosmetics. This is the Sugar and Grunge palette. Honestly, all the palettes I'm about to mention, it was just so hard to rank them because I love them all. Like, they're so beautiful, and they could potentially switch places depending on the day. That's just how really good they are, you know? This is a color story. They mixed it up down here. They were a little rebellious in a way. They added their shimmers, but they don't align with their mattes, but it doesn't bother me. Hopefully going forward they do like magnetic palettes, that way you could fix it if you want to. Their formula, as far as the mattes go, are beautiful, stunning. They blend easy, they're soft, they're pigmented, they're not like dusty. It's a very easy to work with formula that adds beautiful pigmentation, and I love the gradient. I look at this palette and I know what to do, and it just inspires me. It's very easy to just mix all these shades together and create a custom look, or to do monochromatic looks. The shimmers in here are very beautiful, they're sparkly. These two shades, in my opinion, are just too similar on the eye. That's my only critique about this palette. Or the shades Bubblegum and Prom Queen. I wish this one was maybe more pinky, or this one was more orangey, peachy. I don't know, but when I get them on my eyes, they look identical pretty much. But other than that, that's my only critique about the palette. I have to do some, you know, or else this would be a super boring ranking. So let's see. Number 17 goes to What's Up Beauty, the Desert Monsoon palette. Okay, this was sent to me. Wow, holy moly, I love their formula. The mattes, like, I feel like I'm a broken record because all of these are so beautiful. Like, the formulas of all these palettes, they're pigmented, easy to blend. I've been using this so much. I just literally will go into these two shades on the end. I'll pop into like an indie brand super shifty shade and it just transforms. Or I'll use these shimmers and I'll get a very beautiful look. You can go very nighttime or very daytime, date night, like whatever have you. You can just transform your look, super light, super deep. This palette's amazing. And I love the like how small it is compared. Let me pull up the Blend Bunny. Like, it's so tiny, but it's compact. It's travel friendly. I'm not traveling anywhere, but I just wanted to point that out. I love the mirror. I just love everything about their palettes. I have the Geodes palette. I got that last year. An amazing formula. I cannot wait to see what they launch in the future. They're a brand that really piques my interest. So let's see. Next, this one is from Odin's Eye Cosmetics. This is the Jewels and Gems palette. And I honestly thought I would skip this one, but then I ended up getting it. And I'm very glad that I did. This is it's color, but more softer color tones in a way. I love this multi-chrome down here. I have it on my inner corner. It's like more of a fiery shade. Those are my favorite types of multi-chrome shimmers. As far as the color story goes, somehow it works for me. I love the blues. I like these more navies with the purples, the pinks, some of these soft green olives. I love it. It inspires me to not do the same look every day. Like this right here, this is a look I do pretty much every day. So I do like how this palette, it kind of sways me to kind of think about it, you know? Let's see, now is oh my gosh, guys. Finally tried Bella Beauty Bar, and this is the Strange and Unusual palette. This came out last year, but I recently got this year. It's stunning. What can I say? The mattes, honestly, the mattes in this palette in particular are not my favorite. They're fine, but the shimmers are magical. I will say this shade I added, this is a Natasha Denona shade I squished in here because this was originally a red shade. It came broke, so this right here doesn't belong. But honestly, this palette for me personally needed a brown, because before this was here, I would look at it and stare at it and like, oh, it's so pretty, but I never used it because I was so intimidated by it. Now that this brown's in here, it's like a game changer. I use it all the time. How funny is that? Now, I wanted to mention the Nightshade palette from Gourmande Girls Cosmetics. This one was sent to me. This is so beautiful. It is a very unique color story to my collection. I mean, I have greens and I have purples, but there's something about these tones and the way like the color story is laid out. I love it. The shimmers, if you've tried Gourmande Girls, they are buttery, beautiful, sparkly. Some of them are shifty. The mattes are bold, but they blend easy. They have a magical formula. They have really transformed since the very first few palettes I've tried from them. They just keep getting better and better. And I love this mustardy shade right here. I use it almost with every single one of my looks, and it adds a little bit more of like a grungy tone, if you will. I've created so many looks with this palette, and I can definitely see this one rising to the top before the year is up, but it's so good. I'm so appreciative that they sent this to me. I forgot to mention, this was actually in collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny. I'm so glad I mentioned that because I almost forgot. Just they create magic together. So number 13, this one is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Safari palette, and I love that Nomad gave us a very wearable palette with some fun greens in here. Obviously, if you look at me, you know my aesthetic, you know this is a palette I reach for all the time. It's so beautiful, and I will say that a few of my shimmers, the Zebra Shade and Roaring Lines and Crocodiles, those for me are very firmly pressed, but I still can get pigmentation, so I can't complain too much, but they are firmly pressed compared to the other traditional shimmers, but they're still very beautiful, and I love the quality, and don't even get me started on the packaging. It's one of my favorites in my collection. It's so beautiful. Let's see, number 12, this is from Give Me Glow Cosmetics. This is the Haunted Pumpkin palette, and I did not think I would love this as much. Like, I was very hesitant to purchase this last year because it launched after Halloween. I'm assuming there was something behind the scenes that kind of like delayed it a little bit, but I'm so glad that I ended up getting it this year because I have used it a ton. The color story was a little intimidating to me, but the more I have been creating different looks, I love every look that I've been getting. I will say this does lack. Sorry, my camera died. As I was saying, for me, that the only thing that this palette lacks is a lighter shade, but other than that, I love it, and sometimes I'll go in with the different palette for Inner Corner Pop, but I really do enjoy this palette way more than I thought I would. So next, I wanted to mention this one from Odin's Eye. This is the Sea Talk palette in collaboration with Lauren Mae Beauty. I did not, kind of like the previous, did not know how much I was going to love it because blues intimidate me, but there's something about these neutral tones mixed with these blue tones with these fun pops. It works. It's beautiful. I really do like this quality. Let's see. Now I wanted to talk about this one from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Seahorse palette. This is a palette full of very special shifty multi-chrome shades. The reason why it's coming a little lower is because these two are a little similar. There's a few that you have to kind of really build up to get a lot of pigmentation, but I can't deny it's a beautiful iridescent pastel-y shade, like beautiful shimmer shades in here that I love, and I love mixing and matching it with some of my other palettes. I love using these for like the inner corners, some just fun pops. It's such a fun, beautiful color story, and I've been loving it. At first, I was very hesitant because you have to build them up a lot, but I've come to honestly really do enjoy this. I can't believe we're already in the top 10. And next, I wanted to mention this one from Bella Beauty Bar. This is the Smoky Glam palette, and this was the, was this the first or second palette I've tried from them? I think the second. I don't know. I can't remember. Either way, I freaking love this palette. No, this was the first. Yes, this was the first, and then I ended up loving this so much, I bought the Strange and Unusual palette. I really like this palette. It's a little repetitive, but the quality has it's increased. Like, it's better than the Strange and Unusual. The mattes in here are very pigmented and easy to blend, effortless, just stunning, and the shimmers are beautiful. So obviously, you know, I love this palette because I have since purchased this one, Strange and Unusual, pre-ordered Pastel Gardens, and ordered the mermaid palette. I forgot the name of that. it'll get to me soon. But either way, I really do like their formula. They have climbed up high this year for some of my favorite palettes. Let's see, number 8. This one is from a Fantasy Cosmetica, the Fighter palette. This one was sent to me. I love this cool tone color story with the blue grays and like these neutral tones. It just works, and it's so, so beautiful. I've created lots of different looks with this palette. The quality, I would say, on the mattes have improved. They're extra buttery, so I do enjoy this palette. So coming in at number 7, this is from Glaminatrix, and this is the Into the Night palette. I cannot, guys, this color story is so beautiful. It's a little bit intimidating at first, but once I kind of got used to the palette and the color story, it's really unique to my collection. I have enjoyed all the looks I've created with it. The matte formula is beautiful. The shimmers are stunning. I have nothing bad to say about this palette. It's fun and unique and so beautiful. Love the packaging as well. Next, this one is from Cosmic Brushes. This is the Muse palette. This one may even end up ranking higher by the end of the year. I use this whenever I'm not testing a new palette. I'm reaching for this one all the time. It is so pretty. I can get so many different looks with this palette. I get very neutral, wearable. I can make it pinky, purple, green. I can make it grungy with this and like the swampy greens down here. There's nothing I can't do with this palette. I really enjoyed it. And also, not to mention, like, the formula, it's a luxury formula. It's beautiful. The mattes are they're blendable. If you give me a pigmented matte that's blendable, what else can I ask for? It's a very nice formula, and the mattes are stunning. So this brand, I'm so glad that I tried it. I know they have quite a few palettes that have launched, but that one has my heart. Let's see, now we are in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are in the top 5. This is not a newer palette. It's new to me. This is discontinued. This is the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. This color story is me. It's a dream. These grungy tones with these murky greens and purples and like these very unique blues. I love this palette. The shimmers are sparkly. I will say they're not too shifty, but they have enough of a shift to be special. I personally love this formula and the color combination with these beautiful unique undertones, kind of like Milk Cosmetics. They have unique undertones, and that's what I really do enjoy. Now, number 4, is this where I want to put it? No, you're going to be number 4. Okay, this one is from Odin's Eye Cosmetics. This is the let's see. Oh, Stone and Rock palette right here. I love this color story. I'm just so excited that Odin's Eye kind of toned it down and gave us a wearable but still very poppin' palette. Like, you can get this very green, and this shifty shade down here is like a beautiful green blue multi-chrome. You can go very soft and everyday. They gave me a brown. You can go grungy green. The shimmers are very magical. I will say all of my Odin's Eye palettes, the shimmers kind of, I'm not going to say they get like a hard pan, but the texture kind of changes once my fingers have kind of like gone in, and I don't know, there's definitely, I can notice a difference in the shimmers. They're not like as good as day one, but you still have to layer them on a few times, but you still get a beautiful sparkle. So I wish the shimmer texture didn't change. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe if you can just look at it, you can just kind of see, I don't know, maybe you can't. I will say in person they definitely change over time, but they still look very beautiful. I love this because the shimmers are so sparkly and pretty. Number 3, this is from Natasha Denona. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. The Yucca whatever palette. I cannot, this is so, so beautiful. So the reason why this one isn't number 1 is because a lot of the looks I create tend to look like this. They tend to look very similar in tone and just the way they overall look. The shimmers can be very similar in a way, but if you love this color story, if you love a look like this, you would love this palette, which is why it is so high up, because this is like a very everyday palette for me. This is just the comfort colors I go to. So I love the quality. I love the formula. I love that Natasha Denona gave us greens. Wish Pat McGrath would do that. So I definitely love this palette. So tippity top number 2. This is from Glaminatrix. This is the You Beauty palette. The shimmers in here knocked my socks off. They are so beautiful and sparkly. There's some that are shifty, and yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even that's a dual. There's so many shifty shades. Sparkly, beautiful. I almost skipped on this palette, and I'm so thankful I ended up picking it up. I love the mix with the warm tones and the cool tones, and I got this very taupey purple shade that is perfect. I got a deep brown. I absolutely love this palette. It's it's really competing with number one at the end of the year. It may jump up to number one. Guys, this palette's so beautiful. And I love that they're magnetic. Oh, number one so far is going to go to Adept Cosmetics. It's the Arrow inspired palette. I got me some grungy tones and beautiful shifty singles with sparkles. Like, what more could I ask for? That is a palette that I love, and not to mention the packaging. I wish this one was still available. It's so freaking pretty. I love it so much, so I use it all the time. What can I say? Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go drink a gallon of water. That is everything that I wanted to rank in this video. 36 palettes. That's quite a lot. We shall see. Hopefully, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get a lot more palettes. We'll see in December. Anyways, let me know some of your favorite palettes. You can even do a ranking. Maybe you don't have 36 palettes like me. I would love to hear some of your palettes that are just like the highlight of your year so far. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.